Hello, Richard Himmer here. Researchers have found that we communicate using three primary modalities: words, tonality, intonation, and three is body language. Now, the statistics on that one show that we use body language the most, 55% of the time. We use our tonality or intonation 38% of the time, and our words 7% of the time. Now, they've also discovered that if we want to remove 98.5% of miscommunication, in other words, we'd only miscommunicate 1.5% of the time, we use only words. At least that's the researchers that they found up at the University of Washington. For example, have you ever seen someone who's engaged in a very animated conversation? Well, you can determine based upon their body language what's going on. You don't even have to hear a single thing they're saying. But if you ever talk to someone, for example, you're a teenager and you say, honey, we got to go to the store right now, or we have to go do X right now, or we need you to do your homework right now. And she says, yeah, okay. She says okay, but is that what she meant? Are those words authentic? So that's where we start reading things into it, right? Well, it would be fascinating, would it not, to hold people accountable for their words? But that's another story. Today I want to share an experience with you that took place over 30 years ago. And I'm putting this into first person for emphasis. So I have 5 boys. At the time of the story, I had 3. And my wife was in the 3rd trimester with our 4th child. Now at the time, my work required that I travel a lot. And when I was gone, my 3 crumb crunchers would jump into the waterbed without baffles with my pregnant wife. Now, if you remember back in those days before they put baffles inside the waterbed, that was a virtual tsunami anytime someone jumped in bed. Now, if you have 3 of them jumping on the bed, imagine what it would be like in your 3rd trimester pregnant trying to sleep. Well, that became a real serious problem in our home. And so my wife came to me and she explained, it's getting really challenging, and she's tried diligently to try to get the boys to discontinue jumping in bed with her at night while I am gone. So it was time for me to have a man-to-man conversation with my 3 crumb crunchers. So I convened the meeting, called them up to the bedroom, but before I did, I went out and secured 3 fairly large boulders, each one for the ages. Now, my children were 8, 6, and 4. So as they came in the room, I had the 3 boulders sitting there, and I said, gentlemen, we need to chat a little bit about mom's well-being and welfare. And so we talked a little bit about how important it is that she sleep well, that she's rejuvenated, and kids were on board, no problem. But they didn't see where I was going with this. So I said, well, here's what's happening. What's going on when I go away at night? What's happening then? And the boys go, well, we sleep with mom. I said, yeah. Has she asked you to stop, or is it okay for you to do that? They go, well, no. She's asked us to stop, Dad, but, it's really hard for us. We really want to be with her. And so they had all the 4, 6, and 8-year-old excuses that are possible for them to give. I said, all right. Let me give you a perspective of what it's like for mom who's pregnant with your 4th brother and to try to sleep at night in a waterbed. So I said, Charles, see the boulders over there? He goes, well, yeah. I said, I want you to get the biggest one. And I want you to secure it inside your shirt as though you were carrying the baby. And he looked at me and he goes, okay. So I said, now, once you secure it, I want you to lay down in bed and imagine that the rock isn't just underneath your shirt, but it's inside your stomach. He goes, Dad, that's kind of silly. I go, yeah. And the boys are giggling and laughing, and they're kind of, jabbing at their brother. Well, he lays down in bed, and he's laying there, and he goes, Dad, this is really uncomfortable sleeping here. I can't lay here. I said, okay, well, turn over and see if that helps. He goes, no, that doesn't help any at all. I said, all right, so go ahead and lay on your back. So he does. And I said, now, boys, I want you to jump in bed with your brother. Have a little bit of fun. Snuggle up to him. Let him know you love him. So the boys jump on the bed, and Charles starts getting the idea. So I said, okay, Andrew, your turn. Go get yourself the next boulder. And I did this with all 3 boys. Now, after they were finished with that, I looked at them. I said, okay, you can take your babies out. And I said, boys, what's it like for mom when all 3 of you do that? They go, oh, yeah, Dad, we see that. I said, okay. Can I get a commitment? And they said, yep. We promise nobody will sleep with Mom. I said, all right, nobody sleeps with Mom while I'm gone. You good with that? Everybody says yes. Well, as it would be, I was going out of town the very next day, but only for a one-nighter. So back in these days, this is 30 plus years ago, there was no security. 911 hadn't happened yet. So I flew out. Wife dropped me off at the airport, and when I came back, it was in the evening, so one night would have transpired. This is before cell phones, and I didn't call home. During the day, I was in meetings all day. So families in those days can meet you at the gate. And so I came off the airplane, came through the door, and it's hundreds of people coming and going, not only from my flight, but other flights. And as I walked out of the gate, I could see maybe 20, 30 feet away, standing there, was my wife, kind of arm wrestling the three boys who were excited to see their dad. And eventually, Charles, the eldest, broke free. Now, he breaks free and he starts running at me like this. And when he's running at me, I could just see his face. He has this curly, toe-headed kid. And he's yelling. He starts yelling. He goes, Dad, Dad, you'll be so happy. Nobody slept with Mom while you were gone. Now, let's go body let's go body language. Well, what is it saying? Well, he was excited. What was in tonality? Ditto. He was excited. What did the words mean? Now, in this moment, we've got the text. Nobody slept with Mom while you were gone. Is that true? Yes. What's the context? Okay, that's something else. And something for another video. So the moral of the story is, let's question all assumptions. Question them until we've got clarity. Or be mindful of what you say to your children. It may come back. Have a great day.